Hey guys, welcome back. I'm bringing this story along with an update of 35-year-old Maurice Jewell Taylor Sr., who stabbed and decapitated his 12 and 13-year-old daughter and son allegedly. The Lancaster Fire Department was called out on a gas leak, but when they got to the home, there was something far worse. Guys, listen to this.
In Lancaster, two children found decapitated inside their home, and their father is under arrest. Firefighters had initially responded to reports of a possible gas leak at this home on Century Circle. Then they stumbled on the horrific scene. They immediately called sheriff's deputies and paramedics, who removed the bodies of a 12-year-old boy and a 13-year-old girl.
One appears to be a male. One appears to be a female, possibly suffering from some type of a sharp trauma. It doesn't seem to be that the cause of death from the two people inside have anything to do with the gas leak.
Deputies arrested the children's father, 34-year-old Maurice Taylor, on suspicion of murdering both children. Taylor, along with an adult woman and two other children, were found inside the home and interviewed by homicide detectives. He's being held now on $2 million bail.
I was a bit confused as to where the police had gotten their information. Was it only coming from the mother who was in the house who the detective spoke with that night? Because she's the only person that was there. I thought that maybe Maurice Taylor admitted to the crime, but weeks after, during the investigation, news outlets were able to speak with families and co-workers of Maurice Taylor, who said that he seemed to be a devoted family man.
We're learning more about the Lancaster family at the center of a grisly murder, a father charged with decapitating two of his children. Eyewitness News reporter Annabelle Munoz has new details, including what's being done to help the surviving children.
It's been nearly 1 week since two children were found dead in a Lancaster home, a brother and sister, 12 and 13 years old. Lynn Molyneux says she's a longtime friend of the children's grandmother who lives out of state and is speaking on her behalf.
She was pushed out of their lives and that relationship was severed. That was not her doing, and that was a very unfortunate thing.
Molyneux started a GoFundMe account.
Though it may not fix everything, try to use the GoFundMe to help support them and take that pressure. There was a time when she was in their life every day, and they are her world. You know, there's no way to put into words truly what any of our grandchildren mean to us. You know, I love them dearly. She continues to love them. Her prayers and worry for the two that are left behind, and thank God they are here.
The children's father, Maurice Jewell Taylor, is accused of killing his two eldest and allegedly keeping his two youngest children without food for several days. Taylor worked as a physical trainer. Howard Kern is a friend and former client. When he learned Taylor had not shown up to his training sessions for days, he and others worried and tried to get help.
We decided to call the fire department and report a potential gas leak, which was consistent with our concern about the carbon monoxide poisoning.
Kern described his experience with Taylor.
I don't know whether he's guilty. I do know that the Maurice that I know and the Maurice that everybody else that I've spoken with knew from the training place that we worked out was that Maurice was a very kind and gentle man. We thought of him as a loving father, a devoted family man.
He stressed there should be a thorough and just investigation. Taylor's arraignment is scheduled for later this month. The LA County Sheriff's Department tells us the two younger children are now in the care of the Department of Children and Family Services.
I don't understand the GoFundMe. If the children are with Family Services, then who's getting the money? I'm just saying, if I'm missing something, please explain, because I'm not understanding the grandmother having a GoFundMe if the children are not with her. I'm just saying, again, raising my antennas. But anywho, moving on. I feel like they both should have just went to jail that night until all of this was sorted out. But nonetheless, they did eventually arrest the mother 9 months later.
Rothwell was taken into custody in Tucson on Tuesday for suspicion of murder and child endangerment. Her 12 and 13-year-old children were found dead back in December. Prosecutors say their father, Maurice Taylor, decapitated them and withheld food from their two younger siblings for days. He's set to be arraigned in November. Brothwell is now awaiting extradition to California.
And that's all you get. You check that's all you get is the mother of two children who were found decapitated in their North Los Angeles home has been charged with murder nearly 1 year after their death. Authorities in Arizona arrested 44-year-old Natalie Brothwell on Tuesday in her Tucson home on 2 counts of murder and 2 counts of felony child endangerment. The charges stem from the November 2020 killing of her 12-year-old son and 13-year-old daughter in Lancaster, California. According to the Los Angeles County Sheriff Department, law enforcement officials did not go into detail about Brothwell's alleged involvement in the crime, but she is the second individual to be arrested and connected to them. That's all you get. You go to the other let me share my screen here really quick. You go to other sites and that's all you get. The same thing. A mother was charged this week in the killing of her 2 children who were found decapitated in Southern California last November. Authorities announced Wednesday Natalie Brothwell, 44, who has been living in Arizona, was arrested at her Tucson home on Tuesday for the grisly death of her 12-year-old son, Maurice, and her 13-year-old daughter. Brothwell is awaiting extradition in California. She was charged with murder and felony child endangerment. Her alleged role in the killings wasn't immediately clear from the sheriff department. I just, that's what you get. That's all you get when you search her to find out, well, what was her involvement? So I don't know. But since his arrest, Maurice Taylor has appeared in court several times. Once he was trying, he was in court, he wanted to defend himself.
You're convicted. I want to reiterate to you, even though you filled out this form, that representing yourself is potentially extremely disadvantageous. In society, in our daily lives, people have various rights. We all have rights related to something, right? But exercising those rights is not always a good idea under the particular circumstances. So if a person, if I have a friend or a neighbor and I lend them some money and then they don't pay me back type scenario, you have a right to take them to court and sue them. But if the person is your neighbor, maybe you won't do that for other reasons. When it comes to the criminal law, when somebody is charged with a crime, again, you do have a right to represent yourself, assuming you have a certain basic level of competence and understand clearly the disadvantages for doing that. But a lot of times people feel that they can do a better job doing it themselves when in fact they might actually be setting themselves up to grievously hamper their ability to have an effective or successful defense in the case. When you have an attorney representing you, you have someone who understands all of the nuances of appearing in court, bringing appropriate motions at appropriate times, someone who can properly draft and file any written motions that need to be filed. And when you are representing yourself, you're going to be held to the same standards that apply with regard to all of these things, even though you won't have a lawyer to help you. And in fact, if you remain in custody, you're going to be in a situation where you have limited access to the materials representing yourself. A self-represented litigant is given what are called pro per privileges at the county jail if you remain in custody. But those privileges don't give you all the tools that would be essential for you to succeed in doing this. Let me finish one other thing. Your decision at this early stage is also perhaps improvident because at this point you don't even know specifically, officially at least, what the charges are. And if you don't know the charges, then of course you can't understand all of your possible defenses. You have in your mind firmly an idea of why you feel that you can better do this yourself. I suggest to you, sir, that that's probably not the case, at least at this stage of the proceedings. You can have the benefit of an attorney to get you through these initial stages, and I can't imagine why you would say no to that, given that you'll remain in custody. Go ahead, sir.
There's been several attempts on my life in jail, and I want to represent myself so I can have this case go as fast as possible. Because if I get sent back to jail today, I'm going to get killed. And I have evidence that there's a hit on me and that the police are involved. And they've already tried to kill me. And you keep trying to make me get a lawyer that's going to delay things to send me back to jail so I'll get killed. And I don't appreciate that. And I don't think it's fair that that this is happening. There's evidence that they tried to kill me when they arrested me. I literally had to go to the hospital when they arrested me when I was fine. I don't want to go back into police custody. I want to just do the trial now. I don't want an attorney. And there's a hit out on me, and I have proof. It's on social media. And if I have an attorney, he's going to try to delay things to send me back on this prison bus, and they're going to kill me.
Well, sir, you have to understand something. Your attorney isn't the person that controls whether you stay in custody or not.
I understand that, but he can delay things and make me go back to jail so he can come up with more of a case, and they're going to kill me in transport.
Well, all right, sir. Are you... Is your concern your safety at the jail, or is your concern the competence of your attorney?
Both. It's both.
Well, your attorney certainly doesn't have the control over whether you stay in custody or not.
I understand that, but I don't know if he has my best interest in mind, and my religious beliefs say, since I'm innocent, I should be able to represent myself, and I have those constitutional rights, and everybody's been fighting me for weeks about that. And I don't understand why you need to fight me over a constitutional right.
Well,
the jury will decide if I'm innocent or guilty. I say that I'm innocent. I don't need an attorney. I think that we should just go through this right now and decide if I'm innocent or guilty without an attorney and let the jury decide. Isn't that the Constitution?
well, you're summarizing it pretty well, except that it doesn't happen on the timeline that you are requesting.
Okay, well.
I'm not going to play the entire video, but I will put the link in my description box for those who wants to watch it in its entirety. But the judge is right. I agree with the judge, but I also understand too that I get it. I just want to say, I get it. They will hoodwink you and bamboozle you. So I get it listening to what he's saying, Maurice Taylor. You know, he never agreed to that attorney. So I don't know if the lawyer is a public defender or not, but Maurice Taylor saying he doesn't listen to me and other things he said that raised an eyebrow for me. So if he is a public defender, then he works for the court and not for the colored side. I'm just saying, coming from someone who knows someone that knows someone, okay? But anywho, Maurice Taylor says he's innocent and didn't do it. I don't know if he did it or not, but my antennas are tingling. They're raised. This is horrible what happened to these babies, but something isn't right about this case. The fact that he says the police didn't say anything to him that night, they arrested him, and they didn't read him his Miranda rights, just threw him in the cop car. He said he went to the hospital that night. It was just a lot of things. You know, when you watch the video, you'll know. But again, leaving the mother there with two small children without taking both parents, I just don't get it. My heart aches for those babies and what they had to endure that night. and the younger children too. But I really think there is more to this case. Even with his friends and co-workers who said they think that the police should really do a more thorough investigation and look deeper into this. I don't know. I think they should too. But what you do in the dark will shine in the light. And if Maurice Taylor is innocent, like he say he is, because there are a lot of innocent men in prison, then God will prevail. His faith in God seems to be really strong. Not to mention, he says he has proof and evidence. So we'll see. They both pleaded not guilty on February 3rd. So we'll see. And I will bring you guys the updates on this case. With that being said, guys, thank you for watching. Thank you for listening. Don't forget to hit that like button and subscribe to the channel if you already haven't. And hit that notification bell so you'll be sure to see when I drop new videos and bring you more content. And guys, follow me on all platforms, my Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and TikTok, all at Sister Girl Talk TV. Bye.